Hey folks, I am here in Bradenburg.
Sarasota, actually.
Well, Sarasota, Bradenburg. Anyway, they're towns that are very close to St. Petersburg, where my dad lives, and I'm visiting him while on vacation. Guess who just happens to be hanging out in Bradenburg and Sarasota but Kyle, aka the Inner DVD Pattern. Say hello, sir.
Hey, YouTubians, as CineRam would say. How's it going?
So we decided to check out Moneyball, and we would like to tell you what we thought of it. So, take it away.
It was okay, I thought. I'm not a big baseball fan. I don't think you have to be a baseball fan, but it kind of lacked a dramatic arc for me. It was kind of middle of the road. It wasn't too exciting. The acting was good, but it was just kind of for me.
I agree with you that there was a sort of a lack of conflict. Normally you have a protagonist and then sort of, not necessarily an antagonist, but a character whose, sort of objectives oppose the main character. Now, if there was any character in that movie I thought that was like that, would probably be the Philip Seymour Hoffman character.
Yeah, he needed more screen time.
Yeah, he needed a lot more screen time.
Very underused. He's a great actor, too.
Right,
so
right.
I don't waste.
The director is Bennett Miller, who did Capote, so obviously they have a good relationship, which is why I was in it. But yeah, the main problem for me with the movie is obviously this is set in the world of baseball, but the theme of the movie necessarily wouldn't be baseball related. It could be more universal than that, and that is basically trying something different and having a lot of people not believe in what you're doing and having a lot of opposition to that. The problem is the opposition is spread out over most of the supporting characters in the film, so the conflict I get is kind of diffused. Would you say that that's the case?
Yeah, and there's not really much screen time for the actual baseball players, so you don't really get to root for them too much. You don't really when they get to this big game towards the end. There isn't you're not in it as you're supposed to be.
The stakes weren't that well established.
Right.
We were talking right after the movie, and during this very key game at the climax, I felt of the film, I wasn't even aware of what inning it was, and that was a very important thing to know.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was like all of a sudden the game was over, and I went, "Oh, that was it." I thought I didn't realize that. Yeah, there's some dramatic moments in the movie, but yeah, all in all, I felt like. That it wasn't quite satisfying. I think it would have been a lot more satisfying if I knew more about baseball, if I was a fan of baseball. But then if I was, I would probably know how the movie ended beforehand, and that would have taken some of the suspense out of it. I also felt that there was a lot that went on after that key game, and the movie could have ended a lot quicker. If it were me, I would have ended with that game, and then basically had the last few story points that they communicated through those last 15-20 minutes of scenes could have been conveyed with a few simple title cards. What do you think of that?
Yeah, not to give spoilers away, but as you said, with that Juno sounding like song, they end on a sort of kind of heartfelt note that they're trying to go for, and it didn't quite work for me. I think you're right about it ending on a big game because, I don't know, it just didn't add anything. The ending didn't add anything at all.
Do you think Brad Pitt deserves an Oscar nomination for this movie, The Tree of Life?
You may hate me for this one, but The Tree of Life, probably.
No, I agree with you. I think he's terrific in The Tree of Life. I would sooner rather you get that one.
He was just kind of there in this movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always good, at least good, but it seemed like he was slightly phoning it in, maybe. I don't know. It didn't seem very, dramatic or anything like that.
What do you think of Jonah Hill?
He added some nice comedic moments, which were very welcome, but... he was fine. I didn't think he was, incredible or anything.
Yeah, I kind of agree. This movie was fine. Was interesting, a lot of it. A lot of it I really had a hard time following just because there's so much going on just with the minutia of how baseball works, and I'm not as familiar with that as a lot of people, so I probably wouldn't have gotten a lot out of it, as much out of it as some other people. But yeah, all right movie, but not terrific. Not, not award worthy or anything like that. Yeah, I have to say Bennett Miller so far hasn't impressed me much. I have to say the first half of the movie seemed to go extremely slowly. And maybe this had something to do with the music or something like that. Maybe the volume was too low. The trailers seem to be about 3 times louder than the movie itself. And it's not really a loud movie, but still, it's just I don't know, not aggressive enough in its style. Anyway, that's what I thought of it. This is what Kyle thought of it. So we're going to say goodbye for now, and thanks very much for watching.
Thanks.
Take it easy, everybody.